that. So what's been your secret to be able to break through that?
I don't know if I can tell you what my secret is, right?
Right, so I'm here with Eric Hawkins, who is a family member whose father started Park Tool back in the 50s. So tell us a little bit about the origins, how things began with your father, Eric.
Well, they actually bought a little bike shop, fix-it shop, in the 50s, mid-50s, and they did everything from bikes to ice skates to fixing your lawnmower or whatever. And then bicycles became a bigger part of that, so the shop grew, and they noticed there was not a very good selection of tools. So they started to make tools for themselves, and the first thing was a repair stand. Get the bike up off the ground, they would do everything on the ground upside down. And then they worked in combination with 𝗜𝗰𝗲𝗕𝗶𝗸𝗲 Bicycle Company, which in the US was very big. And really, 𝗜𝗰 commissioned them to make tools. So we started making tools in the mid-60s and have really added to the line ever since.
Yeah, I mean, it's an amazing lineup now. It's almost hard to comprehend just how many different varieties of tools and you can use. So tell us a little bit about some of the evolution as well, of maybe some existing tools that are getting improved along the way.
Well, we try to improve things every year, and we have to change with the times, right? Back in the day, there were no derailleurs, there was certainly no hydraulic brakes or suspension. The shifting was non-existent. So as time goes along, we have to keep up with the times, and we feel like we've done a pretty good job of that. There's about 500 tools in the line now, when we started with one or two. And every year we seem to add to it. We don't drop much off the back because the old bikes are still out there. And for instance, we started with that original repair stand, and now we make 15 different models, including one that's an electric lift stand that'll lift up to 120 pounds. E-bikes, just a better way to work on bikes, lifting heavy things, cargo bikes, etc. So yeah, now you've got hydraulics, now you've got 100 different kind of bottom brackets, you've got headset compatibility, this and that. There's a lot to think about.
There's certainly a lot going on, but I think the origins of the humble bike stand, it's not until you've used one that you kind of realise just how cool a tool that is. So I think it'd be great to take a quick look at one right now. Okay, so this is the PRS 3.2, which what I understand is once you've had an electric stand, you can never go back to manual. So why is that, Eric?
Well, there's a lot of great things about this, and certainly from our first repair stand, this maybe represents the biggest change over the 55 years that we've been in business. But this one is powered up and down. It's got a little electric motor inside here. And basically you pick your direction and do that, goes up and down. It's great for heavy bikes, but it's also just puts the bike at a perfect position every time. So ergonomically, if I want to work on the headset, it's right in front of me. If I want to work on the bottom bracket, I lift it right up and it's right there at a good working height. But super sturdy. You can make a two-sided stand out of this, two different people working independently. And it's just rock solid. So we're selling a lot of these, mostly to people that work on e-bikes, but it'll work on everything.
Okay, Eric, so what I'm most curious about is what is it that makes a kind of a small town bike store go global in the time that you've done it? How has that happened?
Well, that's a really good question because a lot of things have to go right. And what I always say is we were at the right place at the right time, but doing the right thing. So we started, my father and his partner started at a time where there really weren't very many tools, but the bikes weren't very complicated. So as the bikes got more complicated, we were kind of there at that time. The first thing was the bike stand, like I said, but that was just lifting the bike off the ground. But before that, they were fixing flat tires and replacing chains and, not a whole lot of work. But as soon as you had shifting and caliper brakes and so on, you wanted to get that bike up off the ground. So there's a lot that goes into the story, but keeping up with all the changes, and there certainly have been many changes over that time, has been the key thing.
And it sounds like then kind of distill it down into people that want to grow now or in business now, looking to progress, and are thinking maybe they've got global dreams,
Yeah.
but small time kind of business in place right now. From what you're saying, it seems like it's kind of just follow your passion and things just kind of unfold. You can keep growing and the business will grow around you.
Yeah, that's part of it. I think it's great to be excited about what you're doing, but you've got to have patience and you've got to continually look for the next thing. Because I think it's easy once you get in a position where you get comfortable, it's easy to get sloppy and it's easy to not have that same desire to keep making progress, to keep making more. And you know, the bicycle industry gives us a lot of the changes, gives us a lot of new tools. But then on the other hand, it's the only thing we do, so it's the only thing we think about. And so we're always looking for the next thing, always looking to make what we make better, and always looking for new things that we feel a mechanic in a shop, in his home, could use.
Okay, so what you said there was really interesting, because I think what you're saying is kind of staying at the cutting edge, being kind of change friendly,
Yeah.
and yet what organisations find as they grow is that people are generally get more change averse.
Yeah.
They've got a comfort zone, let's say, and they don't want to get out of that. So what's
Right.
been your secret to be able to break through that?
I don't know if I can tell you what my secret is, right? This is how we do it, and I think
Did you even experience that?
where you don't want to change.
Yeah, where you might have employees resistant to change, resistant to growth. You know, this is how we do things around here. And now you're in different countries, like you say, trying to pronounce aluminium differently.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's a natural thing, is to get comfortable. But you also, I think it's your ability to change and your willingness to change and to just try things that really, that's the only way that leads to growth and to, you know, obviously I have 4,000 parts that make up 500 tools, and it started with just a couple. So you always have to be willing to say, all right, let's try that. You know, that's not working. Let's reboot and start over. And we're in a good position because we've got a good reputation. When we come out with new tools, people are saying, not, are you going to make the new Shimano bottom bracket tool, but where is it, right? The expectation is that we will make it. And so we want to follow through on that expectation and make what the industry needs.
It's a wonderful positive message to finish on. Thanks so much for your time today, Eric.
Yeah.